hey, a few months ago, there is this American band called Ghosts of the Sun who hired Adam and I so we could put some magic on one of their tracks that they called Storma. And what they said is just like, hey, Heli, we would like you to do whatever you like on our track. And just put some melodies, put lyrics or not, just be completely free to do whatever you like. And that's the best for me. That's where I am the most free and the more creative. So I really love this exercise, when a band comes to me and say, hey, do whatever you like. And yeah, so that was great, and they were happy right away, and me too. So I will show you today what I did for them and how I composed what I did. So here is my session on Reaper. Reaper is the program that I use to compose, to record. And actually I did like one shot on that. I think, I didn't do like a demo and then changed things, etc. Like it was pretty much straightforward. So it was really, really inspiring, really natural to me to work on that song, which is the best. I didn't have to think or to overthink what I was doing. That was really natural and really instinctive. So that's the best workflow that I love. So I will show you. It starts here and it ends here, and there here. Oh, there is a little marker. Okay. So here, as you see, there is a few layers of vocals all over the song, and at the end there is many vocals. Okay, so you can guess already that the end is very epic or very busy with vocals, but with time and with years of composition, I now am able really to do like epic endings with plenty of voices. Each voice says something, each voice is different from the other, but they don't walk and crush each other with too many infos. So sometimes I have to, to remove some voices to be able to make it very, very easy to understand, very easy to hear. Because if you overload with so many voices, then we don't understand anymore what's happening. So it has to be like filled, the spectrum has to be filled, but I have to make sure that they don't step on each other, that it becomes a mess. And also I have to think about the voices between each other, but between themselves, but I also have to think about the instrumental, because in the instrumental there is guitars, electric guitars, there is bass, there is drums, and most of the time what I notice is that the voice shares many frequencies with guitars, so I have to be careful to not sound exactly on the same frequencies as the guitar. I want my voice to be really hearable, and I want the guitar to stay hearable as well. So I will show you what I did. Let's listen to the beginning. This is the instrumental. I will put a color so you can see. So already this instrumental starts with that beautiful instrument, which is probably a dulcimer or maybe a santur, these strings which are hit by little hammers. And this instrument is instantly inspiring for me. Like it's one of my favorite instruments. So when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, great. And this little melody, it's already giving a tone, giving a mood, like dun, da, 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 dun, dun, da, 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 dun, dun, da, 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 dun, da, 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 with semitones here, and a loop, which is great for me because I love when it's like a bit in that melancholic mood, this inner ambience, this inner atmosphere. I love it. And it's a lot of loop like that in this instrumental. Like for example, if I go a bit later, continuing, and after there will be some drums arriving. but we still have this melody in the back. It's just a loop. Overall, it's just a loop and some, some layers of instruments coming. So here we just have the dulcimer at first, then we have a little keyboard entering, which is giving a kind of note in the back. It's like a wind thing. It's like just supporting this, and then after you have the drums, and there is another layer of melody. Dun, 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 dun. So it's already very rich, but it lets a lot of space for me. We are here in something modern, which has a taste for not gent, but like polyrhythm-ish. It feels like they want to travel and they want to, enrich that thing. So what I did first is that I did some vocals which are rhythmic, what I call rhythmic. It's just simply rhythm that I sing. I could be an instrument. I could be, when I'm recording those voices that I will share with you now, it's just one note, but then and when I sing these kind of things, it could be anything else. It could be another guitar, it could be a bass, it could be a flute, it could be anything, but then I just do it with my voice, actually. And on top of the instrumental, it's just an improvised rhythm that I do in a loop. So you see it continues, it continues, it continues. This is one loop, for example. And then another one, another time, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times I do that. Then enters the drums. So what I do is that I add 2 layers doing exactly the same thing. So now we have 4 voices doing exactly the identical thing. It's 4 voices. 1. The idea here is just to make it a little bit more thick inside the mix, a bit more present in a nice way. On top of that, I make a solo voice. Very shy at first, closed mouth, opening the mouth, but very airy, very soft. But since it's loops, it will gain in intensity. A bit more talking to the world, a bit more powerful. And there, with the rest, we have a nice beginning. I put the instrumental and all those voices at the beginning. Solo voice. Now we have a start. That's just the start, that's just the introduction of the song, but it's already very powerful and very transmitting something. And then we will enter into the second part of the song. And what I show you here is that each part of the song either is the beginning or that part or that part or that part or it's hard to do that, or that part, the ending. Doesn't matter the piece of the song, it's always built the same way. We start soft, we open until it's very powerful, and then second part. We go soft, 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 soft. Second part. na, 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 na. Always the same recipe. And it works very well. I think it's very simple, but it's very efficient, right? So when we enter the second part, I just keep that thing. Ha, 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 ha. It's always the same basis, but I add a variation inside this specific voice, this solo voice, which is and this also. So there is this high voice now, which is taking the relay of the first one. And now second part, change of energy. So we are not getting used too much already about the first one. We are already moving to another energy, another type of voice. So those two don't sound the same, like this one. And then right after we have another voice, which is so the idea here is really to make a huge variation. This first one is really screaming to the world and saying something very intensely. But then we have the soft and the higher voice here, which is much more dancing, much more enjoying the nature around, or whatever we can imagine, you know. So I like to variate like that from a part of the song to another one. I also added this little back vocals, which is this one. That's just very simple, right? It's very simple, but it adds a lot of light, a lot of variation, a lot of richness to that part. So here is how it sounds with the instrumental. It's subtle in the back, but we hear it, we feel it. Here, this version is not mixed. I highlight the vocals so you can hear, but in the mix it's really you just hear them, but they don't jump in your face. It's really like just to decorate in the back, and I love doing that, little decorations in the back. So we continue that part. And here I was thinking about not Phil Collins, but the other one. What is his name? I will write it here. But that singer who is so cool, the way he sings. Everlasting sun rays, everlasting sun. I don't know why I think about that. But then it continues, and the third sentence that I'm saying here, memorize the rays. It's also English, okay? Everlasting sun rays, everlasting sun rays, everlasting sun rays, and then memorize the rays of the sun, because the name of the band is Ghosts of the Sun. So I thought I'm free to write anything I want, so I'm gonna write about the sun and that we are walking towards the sun, and then we feel the sun on our face. That's a bit the idea I had with this song. And so I wrote everlasting sun rays, everlasting sun rays, memorize the rays. But if I would have sing it like memorize the rays for the third time, it's the same melody. Everlasting sun rays, everlasting sun rays, memorize the rays. I thought it was a bit boring, you know, that it's always the same. So I sung it with a twist. Memorize the rays, which is a bit more oriental. Instead of memorize the rays, I did memorize, memorize, you know, this little twist here. And also instead of rise, I said rise, as if I was from a foreign country, which is the case, by the way. I'm French, but as if I was Italian or from an Arabic country, like memorize the day, the race, memorize the race. So whatever the lyrics, like we are just traveling with this sentence. And yeah, I liked to use the lyrics to twist them and to pronounce them with another accent, maybe. I like it. Pronunciation.
Memorize the race, everlasting sun rays.
Sun rays. At the same time as this sentence, there is another voice doing that. This is my own language. This is not a true language that you can find online. This is mine. And it sings at the same time as this one. Usually I try to avoid to do that because then we don't know exactly what to hear. There are two people talking to us. It's a bit too much info. But here, for some reason, I thought that it really fits with the rest. So in the context, this is how it sounds. We still have those guys in the back. Both together. And now we end this part and we enter to another part, and this is what the instrumental does here. It's much more light, much more open, much more floating in the air, much more airy. So what I did is that I created a voice which is much more airy as well. Very free in the rhythm as well. And then something arrives here. There is a voice inside their instrumental that they sent me. It's not a real singer, of course. There is a real singer recording that at first, but it's not a singer that they know, and it's not a singer who recorded for that song. It comes from a bank that you can buy online, a bank with plenty of samples of voices, of instruments, etc., what we call virtual instruments. And so they used it inside their instrumental. And it arrives here, and then it becomes more and more present, actually. And since this part is already really busy, I didn't sing so much, I tried to place myself here and there to answer to that voice, but I tried to stay a bit discreet because I don't want to overload this part and then we don't understand anything. It has to be understandable for the brain and for our ears, so digestible for the ears. Jump here. Something that I like to do is that if we listen to the instrumental, it sounds like that here. And there is a change here. Something really different, like another atmosphere suddenly, or another note, another atmosphere. And what I do with my vocals is that this note, a bit coming from nowhere, I sing it before the instrumental does it. So the instrumental does. Here it arrives, and me, I sing it before. Instrumental catches me up with that same note, so we meet, at the same time. So at first when I do when I'm here, It sounds strange. It sounds like I'm not in the right tone. I'm not in the right place. It's very tensed in the music, but then the instrumental changes like 2 seconds after and catches me up. And then it's like, oh, okay, it fits together. It's a resolution. It's like the suspense, you know. So I play it again for you. Okay, we are in the same place. Here I do, and then the guy in the instrumental, the virtual singer, answers me. I try to make a duet with that guy that I don't know. As if we were talking together. He starts. I let him the space. And I jump in just here. So I let the guy of the virtual bank of sound doing his thing, and then I jump in because I have to make a transition for the next part, because I will be here just after. Okay, but all this part, it's only this guy, because it's so busy already. If I add myself on top of that, like, it's too much, and plus this voice coming from a thing on internet, whatever, I don't know where they found it. It's so beautiful, like I didn't want to step on that and to ruin the thing, so I just appreciate it. It's really beautiful. And then here we go to the next part, which will lead us to the most epic part of the song, the ending. So here, to prepare the end, we have like a soft moment. I will share with you the instrumental first. The main theme. We are still walking here, it's soft. But then the drums, they start to play more busy, and we also have, still recording, we also have like this keyboard in the back, like creating a tension, so we arrive to the epic moment. So here it's building up already. Let's listen to that again. That's tranquilla here, very kind, nice. We're just walking here, right? Keyboard, drums, when a drum guy does ta 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 ta, you know that it's going to be explosion, okay? So on this part, I just follow exactly the same intention as they have. So this is what I do. I sing in another language here. I wrote in Hindi, Ham chalte hain, ham borki or chalte hain bor. We are walking towards the dawn, okay. So very soft here, right? But here we grow in intensity. We grow. We go up to intensity. So we prepare this explosion. We go higher and higher in intensity. I added this little voice that I really like because it really sounds Indian to me, like really the kind of tone that I really love.
Asman ki or dekho.
Asman ki or dekho, it means look at the sky. Asman ki or dekho. So it's like song, but also like kind of spoken, you know, we're in between, like Asman ki or dekho. So I just love this little intervention. So with the rest, it's
Ham chalte
okay, and then we'll have the other voice talking here.
Asman ki or dekho.
Just a little touch. It's very simple. I keep it very simple, but then with the rest, I follow the intensity of the instrumental always. And look at the sky. Then we grow, then we grow. Are you ready? Are you ready? And let's go. What's happening? So here it's many voices. In total, I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17 voices for this ending. 1 or 2 tracks are useless because here like there's nothing, and at the bottom it's like an alternative ending that I proposed to the band, so they can have 2 options to finish the song. But I mute it because I think they kept this one. Anyway, so what I do at this ending is that I come back with the voices of the beginning. But since we have definitely a touch of India, I added a Konakol-ish thing on top. I can't call it really Konakol because I'm not a specialist of Konakol at all, but I did a little initiation for a previous band in which I was, and probably you know it, and it was really fun, it was really nice, and so I do my own Konakol kinda.
Tum taka, tum taka, taka tum tum tak, takina tum tum.
That's the sentence that I wrote, and it just repeats in a loop from the start of the ending until the end of the, not the end of the ending, but like almost. And together, the ha-ha and the Konakol do that.
Tum taka, taka tum tum tak, takina tum.
They do almost the same rhythm. They do almost the ha and the tum tak are at the same rhythm. They are together, and if you look at this visual, you can see that they are almost really together. They are aligned, you know. Just at one moment here, they are not aligned. They are a bit like next to each other. So it's like if they answer each other. So at first it does tum taka, tuku tum tak. That's for the Konakol. And the other one is like ha 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 ha. The difference is here on this part that I highlight. The Konakol starts, it does tum tum tak. Okay, so tum ha tak ha. Okay, the Konakol is here and the ha is here. Tum ha tak ha at the end of the sentence, so they answer each other. So let's isolate them so you can really hear that.
Tum tum tak,
You see, tum ha tak ha. It's really like funky or groovy. Again,
tum tum tak, takin.
tum ha ta ta. I really like it. And the rest of the sentence, they are together.
Tum taka, taka tum tum tak, tak.
I find it groovy, so I did that. It adds a twist. What else do we have then, except for those voices that I will mute now? We have, of course, some powerful voices for powerful ending, such as this one. For me, those kind of voices are really like, I imagine all those voices like being a tribe, you know, in a place, whatever. It's Asia for me, but it could be like in the forest of Amazonia or whatever. I imagine a tribe, and then they all sing together. But then in the middle, here and there, you have someone who steps in the circle and says something about a story. You know, like everybody sings together, and then there is someone in the middle saying, I don't know, like a specific sentence, and everybody joins that person in the singing. This is the kind of voice that I really love in my choirs when I create choirs. We have also very simple, a long note like that, hold it. Yeah, that's the part of the choir in the back, listening to what's happening and just you know, yeah, being a part of the choir. So all those ones are the choir. Ha-ha, the tak-tak, the home. All those ones are the main choir, the main tribe in the circle, you know, supporting the soloist. And how about this one? This is soloist. He is definitely the soloist saying a story. And here I put some lyrics in the next sentence. Okay, fine. So this soloist said what he had to say, and he's supported by the rest of the tribe. How is he supported? Of course, by those voices who do oh. Support, but then we also have the rhythm soloist, all the takata and the haha. And on top, then we have the soloist to feel free and safe enough to tell his story. Okay, and then we also have, then because it's never enough, I add more. Yeah, a bit of material here and there, just to support. Okay, so this is a sentence that I did just to add more drama, okay, in the back. There is this one. This one comes in the middle of the ending, just to remind that, yeah, we have this word, like, look at the sun, like a prayer which is repeating. And it contrasts a lot the way it's sung. This is really stable, this is really sure of themselves, you know, like asmanke ordiko, the way it's said, it's just like straightforward. There's not a lot of emotion here, it's really just factual. Look at the sun, you know, remember, like, we have to be wise and we have to be really focused on what we are doing now, like, look at the sun, that's all matters. And in the back you have this one who is extremely the opposite, totally in the emotion. So I love contrast, like, you know. And yeah, except for that, what else do we have? I think we have that one. It's just a harmony, it's a soloist also, just a solo voice, just arriving in the top here and just creating a harmony with and then I added also an extra harmony to add matière. So here we have actually 3 soloists. So you have the choir doing kinda like little groups, you know, like you have 4 guys doing ha 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 ha, 2 guys doing like the konako ta taka tum taka taka. Okay, then we have like 4 people doing oh. Then we have asman ki ordiko, so 2 guys doing the monks, being really like look at the sun, you know, the Tibetan monks. And then we have 4 soloists being really inside the emotion. And those ones in the mix, one will be really on the right of the headphones when you have your headphones on the head, like really like here. One will be really here. So when they arrive, you're like, oh, my attention is here. Oh, my attention is there. Wow, it's always moving and it's always different. For the soloists, they always have to do kind of different things because they are so in the emotion, they cannot be robotic and always sing the same thing. Each sentence has to be different. So yeah, in totality. So here, like I said, I do a little sentence. And it will be joined by the second and the third soloist who will say the same thing and join the same sentence, like oh yes, we understand you, me too. Like I repeat that and I come to you because your suffering or your emotion is so strong, I feel it too, and I'm in empathy with you. So this is how it works. So first voice joining. Oh really, I join you. And they sing it together, but then there is a third one doing this harmony. Just enriching the spectrum. Yeah. At the end of that, something really cool happens, something I love, and that's the band composition which really brought that. It's that we arrive at the end of this very epic ending, but there is like a soft way to go down after that. With this Indian voice in the back. It's like, oh, that was the explosion and now we are still under the shock of this huge explosion, but we are much more into something meditative, and we were inside the external, you know, exteriorizing emotions, like, yeah, outside, and then suddenly we can come back, we have the option to come back inside and just to meditate and to pray and to be calm again. So with that emotion, I did this. So I go a little bit before the last part of the ending, when it's the climax, and then you will see how I go down. And now it's really the end. Okay, so what happened? We were on the huge climax here. Oops. So then we have all the voices being really like, yeah! And then suddenly it is time to take all that energy and just to put it here, to make it centered again, and to meditate all together, you know, to fight it all together. Like it's like if all the choir was really like expressing things here and there, and then suddenly they all gather really to the same emotion and to the same word, which is kind of a prayer. It's not a prayer, but like I made it kind of in my head like a prayer, and I say Brahma Muhurta. But before that, So Brahma Muhurta, it's like in Sanskrit this time. I said at the first light of the day, and Vishara, it's being, you know, fed up, tired, exhausted. Like we walked so much that now at the first lights of the day, we are exhausted. We are, okay, lassitude. And that's a recycling that I did from a previous composition with my ex-band. I worked a bit on Sanskrit and stuff, and it was super interesting. But anyway, so this is the words that I used, Brahma Muhurta. But before that, I do something very internal, but also in the sound. I closed my mouth.
Brahma Muhurta.
So at first it's inside. We take all that energy and then we put it inside. And then we let it explode into a prayer. Brahma Muhurta. And so there are a few people doing that. And I just added like a harmony. Same for each sentence.
Vishara, Vishara. Brahma Muhurta.
So they all sing the same thing. What I do is just like there is two people doing this note. Brahma Muhurta on this note, and then Brahma Muhurta. So it creates a harmony, and then the last one is lower. Brahma Muhurta. It's a chord.
Brahma Muhurta.
To keep a bit of rhythm, and because I really love those decorations, I added my, because I really love them. And here they even have an answer on that place exactly, not all the time, because once again, we don't want to create patterns which are too much present and too much repeating, otherwise it becomes just boring. So it has to be exceptional. So here, just answer, you know, here. Answer is like an echo. I really liked it. So, except for this kind of prayer at the end, like everybody together, and then those little, there's nothing else. You have it all here. Everything is here. And here we just jump in the void, jump in the emptiness, and we just have the resonance of this powerful ending in the instrumental with the voice of the guy, the synthetic voice. And so it's important that I finish very tight. Finished. I can't do finished. And then the echo of that continues with the rest. To finish, I added just like a loop. I took the sentence that I wrote, like I just put it here, and I thought like with a lot of reverb, I will exaggerate the reverb actually. Ta-da! It could be nice to have just this little echo from the past song that we just heard. So it's like that. The little piano, very nostalgic. So I did that possibility, and then I will just show you what they didn't keep. I think maybe it was English. It's been a while. I don't remember. I will discover it with you. What did I do? Everlasting Rays. It's English. It's the same, but it's just English. So I think it's better with my own language, actually. I think it's nice. We are more traveling away. So this is basically what I do, like choirs that, you know, they don't all say exactly the same thing. They all have a different expression, a different sentence, a different role. It's really a tribe that I imagine, and then 2 people do that, 4 people do this, and then they just support the soloist to really have like something very emotional to say. And I think it works well on this kind of songs, really. I'm really happy about this composition because it was very natural for me to compose that. It's really inspired by Himalaya music and Corsica polyphonies, I don't know how we say in English. Like, it's a little island south of France where they have this very typical polyphony singers. I will tell you more about them in another post because it's already long enough, this video, but it's really wonderful and I love it. And so just traveling with that, and I was really happy also to add different languages like my own, and English and Hindi and Sanskrit. I think it adds a lot of spices and a lot of beautiful tones. And you know, we don't use the voice the same way in English than in French, than in Sanskrit. We don't pronounce the things the same, and it gives sometimes another voice completely different. So I love exploring like that different languages, and I love a bit of conical-ish stuff. Yeah, I just do my own things. I hope you enjoyed this video. Just let me know if it would be interesting for you to see other videos like that, or if you would like shorter videos, I don't know, or if you want tips, or I don't know, like I also do classical choirs, for example, which is completely different from that. I mean, yeah, it's different. And let me know. Cheers.